Okay, I am looking forward for you guys sticking with me. Who's here for talking about obscure video games? Alright, now a little bit of introduction. I don't really have a PowerPoint prepared for this one. I got a little Wi-Fi going on thanks to the phone. Upside, I can tether. Downside, AT&T.
That sucks.
At least I'm on that 10 gigabyte plan, so hopefully that'll last me. Anyway, and I also got some videos prepared too. Alright. I just spoiled a handful of stuff to talk about. Alright, so
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
You spoiled everything.
Spoilers. The games I'm about to talk about at 10 years old, you have plenty of time to play them. Anyway, introductions. So my name is Jordan, also going by Angel Halo from River City Gamers.
And I'm also from River City Gamers. My name is Alex. I go by the username ShadowSnake123.
I know. We just do that for fun, really.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're here talking about obscure video games, as I said, for like the 5th time, because I think everyone's a goldfish.
Yeah.
Kind of appropriate because I saw the latest AVGM review on Caution Seaman.
Oh. Might as well talk about that.
Well, that is an obscure video game. I don't really want to give away his audience. So.
Oh, okay.
I'll just say that Caution Seaman is a very weird game. AVGN did a video about it, so I recommend looking that up. But if you want me to talk about it, I'll talk about it. No one?
Sure.
Might as well.
Who wants to see that video instead on your own?
Yeah, I do. I'm on AVGN.
All right, there we go. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Let them have fun.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about
We're going right now.
Yeah. All right. Now to begin with, who likes horror games?
Woo!
A lot of you. I love it. Now everyone's familiar with some of the older horror games that we had, like in the '90s, like Resident Evil and Silent Hill, right?
Yeah.
Now we do have a Resident Evil panel coming on, but I may as well talk about this for a little bit, about the origins behind Resident Evil, probably one of the more obscure video games to talk about. Let me just make sure my volume's low. I don't want to blow through everyone's ears here. How did that sound for a test?
Good.
Again, I'm here to entertain, not blow people's eardrums. I have sweet. Oh, they're different. Now, this is an obscure RPG game that was released on the Famicom in Japan. This was a movie-based title developed and published by Capcom, based on a horror movie of the same name, Sweet Home, which also served as the inspiration for Resident Evil, particularly the door-opening animation. It's just the fan-translated version of it. It was never released outside Japan for obvious reasons. The storyline here is basically 5 people go into a haunted mansion, then as what will happen later, they get trapped in, and now they have to escape. What is unique about this game, I'm just going to skip ahead for gameplay. There's door opening animation again. I'm just going to double click. There we go. So it's an overhead RPG where we have 5 characters to play with. You can only make parties of 2 because you only have up to 3 characters at a time. Anyone here ever played Resident Evil Outbreak? Okay, well, I'll try to elaborate on what I'm about to say here. Each character has their own unique ability, which is necessary to progress in the single player. But there are alternate items you can find that mimic that character's ability. However, like Resident Evil there's inventory management, so you have to determine where to put your items down and whatnot. Which means if your character is gone, they are gone, and you have to pick up the replacement item to be able to progress in the game.
So there's permadeath?
There is permadeath in the game, and it's pretty gory. There was one scene in particular, just to give you an idea of how. I'm just going to pause this real quick and look for it. I'm just going to look for it real quick. There's this one scene in particular which makes it pretty obvious as to why this game never came out here. There it is. There it is. Take a look at all its NES glory. For the Nintendo Entertainment System. For all your kids to play.
published by Capcom, right?
Yeah. I know. Okay, I probably should have asked this. Do we have kids in the audience? I'm sorry, I hope I didn't give you anything. Okay.
I think someone had a question.
I'm sorry, yeah?
Yeah, was this kind of late in the Famicom's life cycle?
I'm sorry?
Was this later in the Famicom's life cycle?
I believe this was released in the early 90s or late 80s. That much I can remember.
Those graphics are, the pixel art in one of those things are really nice for Famicom.
Yeah, the graphics are really good for the time, as you've seen in the death sequence.
Yeah. The doors too, they're really detailed.
Yeah. Anyway, as I mentioned before, there is your character. Once your character is gone, they are gone, and even the game over scenes, they're a little like they're pretty tame nowadays. But stuff like that, seeing that back then, they are gone, they are dead. Bam, too bad. You have to play through the rest of the game without that one character, which makes it a little tough. As far as gameplay goes, it's not the toughest game in the world. I mean, as long as you properly manage your inventory and can handle the monsters, you only fight one monster at a time. You got stuff like this too. Before quick time events, we had stuff like this. Get hit in the head by a chandelier. I only took 3 damage.
Oh, well, if that's all I mean.
I guess they have the very hard skulls.
Freakishly light chandelier, that's my bad.
Yep. But yeah, what's interesting about this is that if I remember what I researched into correctly, it looks like this guy was skipping through battle sequences. Anyway, when I was looking into researching for the Resident Evil panel I got going up, I learned a little bit that they were intending to remake Sweet Home, or at least have a similar premise to the game, which would eventually lead up to Resident Evil, as it is.
So without this game, Resident Evil wouldn't be what it is right now.
Well, that's debatable, honestly. All right, so that's Sweet Home. Anyone got any questions about it?
Where can I play it?
Now, it was only released in Japan, but you are able to download it and whatnot. And it is possible to get reproduction cartridges as well with the English patch.
Sweet.
In fact, is anyone here familiar with the Happy Video Game Nerd? He did a review of this game, so he'll be able to go more in depth about it as well. I'm just covering a handful of different obscure video games. And while we're on the topic of horror games, is anyone familiar with HorrorSoft?
Oh boy.
Okay, how about this? Is anyone familiar with the game Simon the Sorcerer? Oh wow, that's one obscure game even I don't know. Alright, let me just go on about HorrorSoft. Okay, so HorrorSoft was a gaming company that made horror games. And they were developed in the early, I like to say mid to late 80s. Let me just give you an example of one of their first games.
Oh, this game.
This right here is Personal Nightmare. Just gonna skip ahead the intro for a bit. He gets struck by lightning.
Lightning, my worst enemy.
Only weakness.
By the way, is anyone squeamish about jump scares?
Me. I get old.
Alright. Yeah, so this was released on the Amiga. It also had a DOS version, which had worse graphics. Pucker up! Also, that's a Vira. So this game, Personal Nightmare, was one of HorrorSoft's first video games. And what it is, just gonna skip ahead a little further. It's a first-person adventure game, like a dungeon crawler of the sort, which uses a mouse as well as a text phaser, kind of like the old school adventure games at the time. Yeah. What's interesting about this game is that it has a time limit where certain events will occur at certain points in the game, and there's also inventory management. How do I sum this up? The game is crap.
It's really boring. In fact, we actually at one point at a hotel for a con, me and a group of friends actually sat there watching this game just so we could go to sleep. So it's good sleeping medication.
There you go.
Oh, like it's very droning. Like there's no music going on. You have to like wait till a certain time passes in order for things to go on. And if you miss those important events,
You have to wait again.
no,
Oh, you just
Game break.
Yeah.
you can't complete the game.
Not very well structured. You
Not
basically screw
designed,
yourself
indeed.
over and how about you have to start all over again.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you really need a walkthrough for. For its time, it's interesting though. Nowadays, it hasn't really aged.
Yeah. But it makes good sleeping medication.
Tastes like fine vinegar.
Yeah, and the whole premise of the game is that you play as the son of a. Oh, there's a murdered person. Someone's been murdered. Anyway.
Better not mess that.
Oops, did this guy die? I probably should have been here earlier. Anyway, the whole premise of the game is that you play as a traveler. I don't know his name exactly. It's just a random guy who's going to this village because his father's a priest. If that already doesn't give it away, the priest is now Satan.
Oh, well.
Yeah, how ironic. You eventually find out that there's a cult going on, and some of the townspeople are very hostile. Just to give you an idea of that is, I'm going to go ahead and give myself minor nightmares for this one. First, let me just. It's finally over. No kidding, I'm not even done yet. All right. What is interesting about horror soft titles, that becomes a staple if I can actually bring it up. For some reason it's not showing up. I've been meaning to download this last night, but I'm like, I really want to crash, dude. It used to be so easy to pull up, now we can't pull it up. Like Hong Kong. There's gotta be a way to do it. Oh well, I guess I'll have to settle for images. Actually, the later games are way better about this anyway. Well, in fact, how I just go into the later games. After this game, which I don't know how it did financially, they made a sequel. A spiritual successor, more like it. Because here's another game coming up known as Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Now, as far as I know, this isn't exactly based on the movie Elvira. It's more like just using the character. But she becomes a damsel that's trapped inside this castle, and you play as a ghostbuster who's come to rescue her. Oh, and it's sort of like, it's kind of hard to tell what kind of period this game takes place in. It looks like it's medieval, and then there's a couple of modern stuff in it. It's hard to tell. But unlike Personal Nightmare, this one plays more like a traditional dungeon crawler RPG game. In fact, out of the other HorrorSoft title, the combat is actually pretty good here because it's just a simple matter of choosing when to attack and when to defend. I say this now because later games they tend to go for a random system instead. Anyway, so you get caught by this guy, and then you play as Rick Astley here. And the whole time, Elvira is trapped by magic, if I remember. And she hires him to come help her, except he gets captured immediately. She can still sort of roam around and whatnot, but there's not a whole lot she can do to help you. In fact, she takes a lot of piss out of you.
Who's up?
Anyway, so later in the game, that's combat. What's interesting is that there's a lot of horror elements in the game. You got good atmosphere going on. It looks kind of calm right now, but later on you get to travel in dungeons, on the walls of the castle, and there'll be random encounters every now and then with different knights or cloaks, like this guy right here.
You're not supposed to be here.
Yeah, the combat system is very simple, but and you can gain XP from exploring and from doing all sorts of stuff for it. What is interesting is that there's a whole bunch of instant death scenarios, which this actually gave me nightmares when I first saw it. I'm not sure if I want to show it to you, but I'm going to do it just for you guys. Here's the ending, by the way. Don't worry, the storyline isn't very good. You just go around, go through a dungeon. You're supposed to kill this one bitch right here.
mouth.
That mouth.
Oh, that was easy.
Put it in her chest and there you go.
It only took you like 3 hours to go through it while dying all the
Is
time.
that supposed to be like jewel physics or something?
You could say. This was on Amiga. Like I said, it's also on DOS.
Just like breathing really hard, or?
It's supposed to imply other things. I mean, if you're gonna go through a whole castle just to kill some witch, and you're gonna die so many times, I think I'd want a good reward too. Okay, once again, how does people feel about blood, gore, and whatnot? Woohoo! And it does get really descript, so I want to know right now: is anyone gonna feel squeamish? No? Okay. In that case, do you want to play again?
Lol, no.
It's actually a pretty good game as long as you have the patience to sit through it. Scenes of Death. Oh boy, this game nightmares actually. It gets into later deaths in the game, but this is what makes HorrorSoft like unique. Yeah, and they try to be anatomically correct too.
I know, that's what struck me. It was like, oh hey, all the blood vessels in there.
Never gonna get it. Oh, this one's like the most descriptive. You guys have a chance to turn back right now. Are you sure?
No.
I do.
Oh wait, yeah. There goes your
That happens.
You're gonna show all of them or something?
Nah, I'm not gonna show all of them. I'm just gonna get. You guys pretty much get the idea already. Like, there's a dog here. Oh shit.
And right throat. Yep.
Oh, there goes the Thorax.
Still just on the same face.
There's also a zombie here.
Zombies. Jeez. Yeah. I'm the juice out.
I'm so wasted, bro. Oh yeah, there's something here that happens too. It's also with the eyes.
Oh, it blows you up.
For some reason, it just burns your eyes.
Oh, what?
That's pathetic. Should have been the whole body.
Ice seeking magic missile. Okay.
Yeah, that's a chef. Anyway,
That one's too much.
so yeah. So the first game did pretty well. So of course there's going to be a sequel. This time it takes place in a more modern time. There's still supernatural elements you can do in this game in particular. I'll just skip ahead for a bit. It doesn't really explain a whole lot story-wise. It has more upbeat music too. But there are plenty of horror elements we found here. There are 4 different levels you can explore here. Like there's the dungeon, there's a haunted house. It all takes place in a movie theater set. If I recall, you play as a security guard of some sort. And you're just going around rescuing Elvira again. You're supposed to go to each level to find her. The first 3 times, it's always going to be like a monster in disguise. So you could say it's almost like Mega Man in a way, where you just have to go find your way through. I think I found one scene about this, or that's probably just her. And that's your character, by the way. I see Keanu Reeves is calling him more times. Oh my god. Oh yeah, and in that scene, you're supposed to. There are piranhas in there.
Push each your hand?
There is this one very grotesque scene I'm trying to get to. If I can remember. Oh, there it is.
Fish stabbed you in the eyes. It was really weird.
This is one really grotesque scene. Well, not grotesque, it's just fucking scary. You're supposed to use a magic spell which makes you fearless. Don't worry, there's nothing explicit here. You're supposed to use a spell that makes you fearless of everything. And this is important because of this upcoming scene right here, which scares the shit out of me. Hey, you're a lion, so that didn't work. Yeah, there's plenty of instant deaths in these games too. That's a common trend with HorrorSoft games in general.
Very, very graphical. Yes.
Anyway, not to go too long about this. There's a bunch of not to go too long about this. The death scenes here are a little disappointing compared to the first game. But of course, spoiler alerts, you rescue Elvira again. But I guess I can show off some more depth.
They stud you.
I guess I can show off some more depth scenes while I'm here.
Oh,
I think that's just him after San Japan.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, it gets really descriptive.
Damn.
But some of them are a little disappointing from the first game. There's all sorts of different. Some of them are like really cheesy.
Faces.
I guess I killed you. That one's pretty true.
Whoa.
The signs are
You stabbing me, oh, what?
I stab you, that means your head pops off.
It just popped out.
Hey, hello, what are you doing? You faint at the sight. I think you die here. Yep.
You just fall over dead.
Just one more game, and then we'll get to it. Okay, and so the only thing with the Elvira games, Personal Nightmare is available on goodoldgames.com as a DOS download. Elvira 1 and 2, I'm guessing for licensing reasons, that's not available on Good Old Games. But there is one last game that Horrorsoft did, which is probably their best one yet. I actually have a video with it. Oh yeah, there's copy protection. Anyway, it's the same sort of game. The premise here is that you play as a man who's inherited a waxworks museum from his uncle, who then explains to him through a crystal ball that I have your brother captive in this waxworks museum. However, there's a curse that's been placed on our family lineage that for every twin that's born, there's always an evil brother to deal with. So your whole objective is to go through 4 different waxworks exhibits, which takes you back in time or forward in time. It's a little, you can say it's kind of similar to Eternal Darkness in a way. It's a little more forgiving compared to the other Horrorsoft games because you can actually because the scenarios, except for the Egyptian ones, the scenarios aren't terribly long. It's just a matter of knowing what to do. There's plenty of trial and error, of course. This one right here, I don't know why that's there. Oops. Yep. This stage right here takes place in the Victorian times, during the times of Jack the Ripper. Guess who your evil brother is?
Jack the Ripper.
Yeah. But you're his twin, so you have to avoid the police, who will hang you at first moment's notice.
Oh.
And you have to avoid the mob, who will lynch you at first moment's notice.
Thinking about Skull Moon.
Because everyone knows exactly what he looked like.
You want to know exactly what it looks like? It'll involve being dead a lot. And I should have. I'll tell you what, how about I go here? Now I'm going to do this for you guys because as soon as I watched this, like late at night when I had to open the convenience store when I was working there, I just couldn't sleep. Yeah, the gameplay looks kind of boring now. It does get a little interesting later, but it does involve a lot of clicking around, moving around and stuff, like all the previous games. I know. And now I'm just skipping through random scenes. They're like, we're talking about horror games. By the way, baby. You know what? I'm gonna get you the good stuff right here. Yeah, I know it's a little boring right now. Like you get stabbed, poked, and whatnot, and then sometime later, there we go. Whoa. Just had to poke him around a bit.
Show the Jack the Ripper.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what happens when you move a pillar out of the way. Like, do you want to push this pillar?
Yeah, sure.
This is the Egyptian level where there's a whole bunch of traps and puzzles you have to go through.
Why is he naked?
This is
They
fun.
killed his clothes off.
I killed you so hard your clothes came right off.
Man, the traps are filled with acid.
Alligator.
There you go.
Oh, that's one way to kill you.
Alligator looks like it's digging it too. Oh yeah, human.
Ooh, that's bad.
Oh, he's wearing pants.
Alright, now to the Victorian era one. This is where it gets interesting.
They didn't kill them all though.
Okay.
I guess the cop shoots you or.
Now, what they do is that they capture you, You get to see what your twin looks like. There we go.
Well.
Yeah, you can also find a mod here who will glitch you. He looks relatively calm for someone who's dead.
Yeah.
And then there's of course a graveyard level because every game needs zombies. And some solid music to go with it.
Pick up my drum.
I'm not sure if his jaw's gone more like him. Just, ah! Anyway, now some of the more grotesque deaths I'm about to show you guys takes place in the mines full of parasites. That slowly moving cart. It's like an Austin Powers where you know Austin was driving that forklift and it's like stop.
Oh, what is this abomination?
Abomination makes you an abomination. Oh.
Yeah.
It's something more grotesque in this. It's
Finger melter.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Don't worry.
I'm native cancer.
That's my man. That's my man.
Nope.
It looks like he's not even dead. He's just like, what are you doing to me?
Whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. See, it's like I said, you notice he has like 71 HP. Yeah, it's bullshit. Anyway, you can also go through moving vines, which do this.
Oh, first actual sprite animation.
And this is like early 90s.
Yeah.
This is before Mortal Kombat.
It's like not at all.
Yeah, I think you've seen enough. But yeah, you can get this. You can get this game on goodoldgames.com as well as a DOS download. I would say it probably didn't age that well. It's going to take a lot of patience. And I'm sure you got a few to shoot. Do it.
All right. How many of you like playing JRPGs, especially the niche ones? I actually I want to talk about a particular game on the Wii. How many of you heard of this game? Fragile Dreams. Sweet. Okay. Spoiler alert: the main protagonist is voiced by Johnny on Boss, so it kind of makes it really awesome. One thing I like about this is that it looks really, really good. Like, this isn't really the in-game graphics, but the whole, like, the cutscenes that they're presented look so good. And this is on the Wii, not the Wii U, mind you, the Wii.
Didn't you say it was similar to? Didn't you say it was similar to Silent Hill, Shadow Memories?
Shadow Memories, yes, because you basically walk around in third-person view and you carry a flashlight. The only difference is that you have a way to defend yourself.
Do you want me to show gameplay?
Yeah, show gameplay, so I can basically explain my point better. I'll be straightforward because I want to show off a lot more games that way. Gameplay. Yeah, so this is the menu. Still looks really good. And the fact is that I don't know a single person that knows about this game, but now that we're here, great time to talk about it.
Now you
so
know.
basically,
Sorry.
So basically how this works is that it controls like a survival horror game. You basically use the remote to slash whatever weapon you have, and you just use I think you use the Wii remote to use the flashlight, and I think either the buttons or whatever. It's been like a long time since I played this, and what you're trying to do is obviously you also have to manage out your inventory like in Resident Evil games, so you gotta like be careful what to bring and whatnot. And I believe if you can find certain items throughout the map, you can basically like have like a bigger inventory space and upgrade yourself. And it has RPG elements, so you can level yourself up to have like more health and better stats. But one thing that makes this game makes it really unique is that it has atmosphere. And usually JRPGs that I play just go for just like a fantasy tale, like say Final Fantasy or Tales or whatever. But this one actually tries to go for more. Let's try to make it like a blend of like animated JRPG and survival horror, and I think it actually does a good job of representing that really well. The other thing is though, once you beat it, there's really not that much to really go back to, and there's some boring fetch side quests. I'll admit that right now. But other than that, I'd say if you can track this game down, which it can be very pricey, go for it. See, look. Ghosts that look like jellyfish for some reason.
Yeah, I don't get that.
We're going.
Oh.
Yeah, that's all I got to say about this.
Let's see. How about we get to the really good ones right now? Is anyone familiar with Fighter Maker? Okay.
Good thing.
I guess I'm going to show you a little bit of it right now. Okay. Is anyone familiar with the PlayStation 1 RPG Maker? Alrighty. I'm sorry, I've been away from the mic for a while. You guys can hear me back there, right? Awesome. Okay. So Fighter Maker was released by the same company that did RPG Maker for the PlayStation 1. The game is about, as it implies, making your own fighting game, sort of. Well, not really. It's more like when you play the game, you're actually customizing predetermined characters. That's what the front cover looks like.
Can we just say that the animations are basically
Not yet. Not yet. We have to save that.
So it's more like you're making fighters rather than a fighter.
Yeah. Well, I think that's, well, it does say Fighter Maker,
Yeah.
so.
It doesn't specify what kind of fighter.
But the whole point of it is that you can customize, why don't you take over?
Okay, you can basically customize like their move sets. You can basically like how their stats or whatever. It takes a lot of time to customize it. So better have some free time if you want to get like dedicated to this, because it is not easy. It's not like it's not like create a character in Soul Calibur where like you just change the aesthetics and choose a style. But no, you have to go through every inch, every animation and everything. You might have to need a separate memory card just to load for a lot of data, because these games take up a lot of data.
Yeah.
But if you do dedicate to it,
You can do this.
Yes.
The only one.
yeah, someone made this. Someone at Age Tech decided, okay, let's give them a game where they can customize their own fighters. Some people have way too much free time. I must go now. The core needs me.
And you also notice that the animations look similar to Tekken because they probably just based around the engine that Tekken was made on. I take it.
Well, when you play the default profiles, they play like Tekken. You missed!
I'm just gonna get up back by swimming up in the air.
Superman ain't got nothing on this.
Spaz around like a crazy monkey.
I can't.
You missed again!
It's like the explosion sounds.
Yeah, you thought characters on Mugen could get ridiculous? Just think of what you could do in this game. You don't even need technical experience. There is a sequel that was released on PlayStation 2. You can sort of customize the characters and their appearance.
They reduced it, so...
Yeah, you can sort of customize their appearance. Oh, so this guy looks like Samus Aran.
Human ball.
He hasn't quite perfected the morph ball yet, though.
Oh, man. How do we come across this video again? Oh.
You gotta start breaking physics down.
He was fighting fur, but no, he has to fight dirt. What? What?
I'm thinking about that one scene in Naruto, like episode 3 or whatever.
It's so slow and drawn out.
1,000 years of death.
But hey, while we're on fighting games, okay. There was this one game that was brought to my attention just last night, known as Killing Zone.
Oh no.
I believe you know more about it.
It's the most bare-bone fighter you can probably play. I mean, any bare-bone fighter that you think is bad cannot be as bad as this. Well, there's probably worse. But the game just barely has anything to offer, and the animations and characters just, like, it doesn't even try to develop its lore, like, and for a new fighting game IP that's, just starting out, that's kind of a bit inexcusable.
Acclaim, that's a good sign.
Yeah, Acclaim. Well, what is this? Okay, yeah, this is all you have. Just normal auto mode and option mode. That's literally it.
Here are your creative characters so you can play as. I hope you guys get cosplay as any of these characters next year.
Yeah, we basically saw a friend that streamed this. I think he just did it because of buyer's remorse or something like that.
Well, if you bought some crappy game, you gotta put it to use somehow.
Yeah.
Again, this is a claim, so I am not at all surprised by the quality of this game at all.
Shelly.
Battle.
Watch out, we're gonna have to destroy. Oh, no.
Wow, this looks so much fun.
Oh, so she's perfected a strategy of just kicking people off.
Yeah, that's how recalls work. They just abruptly happen.
Oh my goodness, this one game. I'll let this go on for a little bit more. You got any more to add?
It's bad.
Good enough for me.
Firemaker was funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. Speaking of fighting games, though, I do have a couple more I'd like to talk about. Is anyone familiar with Strata Entertainment?
Guess not.
Who's familiar with the game Time Killers? Oh, you do? You're familiar? Why don't I give the floor to you?
No, fine. It's
Oh,
not the
okay.
one in the arcades though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that, no, right.
I'll just show a brief video about it, just to jog your memory.
Hello, everybody. This is Jonas 6666.
Preferably without commentary. Yeah,
It's hard to find playthrough videos without the commentary.
Here we go. We got it. I think we got it.
This is the right game, right? Yep, it is. Oh, I remember.
Oh, I remember this game.
Yeah, I remember Mortal Kombat was all the craze, and then there's a guy still talking. You don't need audio anyway. To give you an idea how the sound design is, has anyone watched Doug on Nick back in the 90s? That's their audio design. I swear, when you hear the sound effects, it's like because you have the sound effect. It's like when the game's over. Anyway, so Strata tried to make a game to compete with Mortal Kombat. It's about you got warriors from different time periods. One of the main appeals in this game is that you can decapitate people.
All right.
Like you can chop off their limbs and they become unusable. Their arms, and there was a chance to cut someone's like that. And you can cut someone's head off too, which instantly ends the match. It is completely possible to do it at the very beginning of the match. I'm serious. I heard it has something to do with hitting all 5 buttons, which correspond to each limb, to do a full decapitation. And it can happen as early as the start. As soon as they go, you'll be like, psh, game over. He's perfect. It controls bad. Now I bring this up because they made a spiritual successor known as Bloodstorm.
Oh boy.
Pretty tough.
Yeah, I'll just show you a little bit of this one. Here's the introduction of it, which you can see in the arcades.
Audio.
That was rough.
Yeah, this game doesn't play around. Anyway, plot is Emperor dies. You got warriors that want to take his place on the throne. So now there's a tournament going on.
Yeah.
Basically the same sort of game, except you don't have the button for the head anymore. But you can cut that person in half and still fight somehow. I mean, they can lose their entire pelvis and their organs will start falling out, and you can still fight. That's one of the fatalities. You're not missing anything. I'll just save you the trouble there. There's really not a whole lot to say about this, except the bosses are pretty funny. If I can get to one of them. Here's one of the bosses, known as Chainsaw.
That's not a chainsaw.
What is that?
I don't know what that is.
I'm a bird.
Yeah, because when I think of great final bosses, I think of birds.
Oh yeah, not to mention there's like a video about this game, like basically showing up all the glitches in this game.
So apparently there's a transformer in this game.
All right.
I don't think I've ever seen this. I've seen it this far.
Yeah, it is the final boss.
What's his name?
Necron.
Necron.
You have bested me!
That's me. I'm just gonna be in my normal pose and not be like.
Oh, I just got a spiky fist.
Alright, I'll give you this one, but I will destroy you next match.
Now it's time to get serious.
What in the heck is going on?
Machine gun explosions, man.
Explosions,
We
explosions.
made an explosion.
Anything in the game?
Pure explosion.
Anyway, that's your ending too. Turns out she orchestrated the murder. And there's different characters to play as, but you get the idea.
Yep. Tournament going on, every fighting game storyline.
Also, there's like 8 different secret characters you have to eliminate to get the secret ending in the game. And the secret ending is basically, if you manage to defeat all the agents, there's a text right here. Okay, this message right here. Call Strata at 708-777. Ask for relief and tell him the fighter you won with in the following code, 0000. You may appear in Bloodstorm 2.
Oh.
You kick butt. That kind of reminds me of that one thing in the AV.
They slash up the Emperor and they're all like, no, so bloody and gory. You kicked butt. Yeah, totally radical.
And you can be in Bloodstorm 2, which never happened.
Never happened.
I like the match 2 never happened.
Someone somewhere was just despondent.
Okay, just one more we can show off, and this one I think we both can intervene. But before we say anything, I want to hear audience reaction to what's about to happen. This,
Oh no.
You know? No.
I guess it's gonna be good.
This is the introduction. There's no dialogue here, but I can be quiet anyway. Well, actually, I'll just say it. So this is Shadow War Succession for the 3DO.
The console that basically said they call the Super Nintendo and the Genesis baby toys.
Yeah, this is definitely a game for grown men, grown adults. People, this separates the boys from the men.
This is HD graphics we're talking about here. For the adult gamers.
Console, it's worse than the Super Butts chip.
Let me turn this down for you, I'm sorry?
I said, I love how this on a 3D console and the Super Butts chip destroys this.
Yeah.
Star Fox on the Super Nintendo works a lot better than this.
Now, I know I'm quoting Red Super here. Anyone watch Red Super? No? Well, they did a commentary on this video, which is one other way I've learned about this game. Funny story though, I actually brought this game over when I went to Anime North last year. A friend of mine, we both watched Red Super religiously. And so we just assumed this was like a game that was never released. And it was just like someone found it online, it's a beta and whatnot. Then I went to Anime North. I gave him the box to the game with the disc. I even cleaned it up for good measure. He looks at it and it's like,
He looks like he did.
it took a makeout session with his girlfriend just to break him out of it.
He was in denial that there was like a physical release of this game, and apparently there is.
It exists, and I know this is on an emulator. It plays, I think the physical copy plays worse. And if you can believe that.
Well, maybe they actually tried to make the emulator run better since, you know.
Well, the point is, the game sucks. Anyway, listen.
Killed me once, but now I am more powerful than you can ever imagine.
Yes!
This is combat!
Eat my fire fist!
Alright, so as you can tell already, this is a Mortal Kombat knockoff. Whoever thought Mortal Kombat was like an art form at the time. I'll be like this pose, he's like,
Holy score.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize we were recreating vampires here. Or was it Frankenstein's monsters? My bad. Anyway, when you do play alone, the AI is actually incredibly cheap. It's broken. Okay. Alright, you gotta listen to sound quality. Go to hell. Alright, so we're playing as Rig 3 and 3A3 Ha. That's supposed to be an S, but
Yeah.
I couldn't even get the names right.
Or just a plus.
Alright.
No understanding my head.
What kind of accent is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, you got, get out of the way of the warrior. Shadow War Succession is here. We actually have a mini tournament at the hotel room with this game. We have it on.
If you need a great actor,
Who won the tournament?
you
I don't know. I don't remember who won. Well, there was one character called Carlos. I don't really have these. I'm going to quickly go through the video here because I know we're a little low on time. I'd like to open the floor for questions. Just going to show.
broken move right there.
Let's see. Shadow War of Succession. Is there one with Carlos? Yes.
You can.
Who here is military? Not Carlos. I meant Anvil. Now, Anvil is my favorite character in this game.
Oh no.
Now, as soon as the combat zone gets prepared, I mean, it's not like we're playing Kasumi Ninja or anything. Carlo 3? Oh, okay.
Prepare to eat that, baby!
I wonder if this guy does it. Yes, yes, he's doing it! That's why Anvil is my favorite character. This is a real game, people. This exists!
I'm gonna kick you in the head.
I think Anvil forgot that he's in a fighting game, not playing Mario. Although to be fair, his jumping ain't doing anything. Also, I guess we're playing this game on like 5 frames per second. 5 frames per millisecond? Per minute. And also he has that really weird knife animation. It's like, I'm gonna hurt you, and it somehow takes damage anyway. Let's see to the end of this match. Let's see to the end of this match, because I just have to see this. Alright, I get it. Alright, Anvil, do it! Do it! He's doing it! Okay, good. Now let's get to the bad audio.
Would you die already?
Is that all you got? Is that all you got?
That is everything we got today. I know we took a large chunk of time. I'm glad to see everyone's entertained. So, how about leave the floor to some people here? Who has an obscure video game they'd like to talk about?
Anyone?
Yes.
Do you guys have a cutoff date?
Cut off? Oh, you mean like this panel?
Yeah. No, okay, I'll take it. No.
Oh, no.
It was a game released in 2011. It came out a little bit before Deus Ex Human Revolution.
How was that?
The game I'm talking about came out a little bit before Deus Ex Human Revolution. It's called I Divine Cybermancy.
I Divide. I might have seen that on Steam, actually.
Yeah. It is. Okay. You start the game, your character has a niche. It's built off the Swords Inbound. It's an action RPG.
Okay.
I don't think there's a hard level cap, but your hit points don't really improve. So you could be like a level 100 character going through it, and you're still gonna die as much as a level 1 character.
Well, that's to be expected.
Death is not there is not permadeath, but when you run out of lives, like your stats suffer permanent damage, including falling off cliffs, and it has like this insane story.
So it's like you break a limb, it's permanent.
Well, it's like when you, like if you die, like you might suffer commotions, and you take a penalty to your stats. But it's like you return. I think like there's a matrix involved. You might be in it. Maybe nobody knows. There's 4 different endings. Maybe 5.
For those leaving, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Hope to see y'all again next year.
By the way, we'll be hosting a Resident Evil panel at 10 or 10:30?
10.
10. So we'll be in the East place.
You were saying?
There's psychic powers, which have a chance of backfiring. But my favorite one is like it's my favorite one just for traversing the stages because you teleport into someone. there's hacking, and you can get hacked back
Okay.
by everything. You can die from hacking a door.
So like it blows up right in your face?
No, it's like you get hacked by the door.
Oh my goodness. You know, there was this one game I could have talked about. Have you heard of Return to Zork?
The name sounds familiar.
Okay, now I don't have time to show everything about it, but what I can tell you about it, it's the first time in the Zork series where it was a text phaser series, like, you know, text adventure. Then they made the leap to using FMVs and actual graphics. There are a bunch of ways to die in the game, and one way is that you can go to a comedy club. Yeah, you're supposed to collect audio from everyone you talk to, and some of them are supposed to be comedic. Like you show them a book which has them translated for jokes, and you go to a comedy club. You're supposed to recite these jokes so you can get everyone laughing. However, if you fail to do anything like 3 times, the guy tells you the show is over. And then black screen, evil laugh. Then you see your gravestone saying you're too depressing for comedy.
That's so mean.
That's so mean. I think he got his. Oh, no.
If he wants to, let him have it.
All right, you have it.
Have you heard of Chex Quest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember playing that as a kid, you know, and cereal box and everything.
Chex Quest.
And they actually made a sequel to Chex Quest.
Oh, yeah, they
did. I never played it, but it was same thing, same regulation. Yeah, Chex Quest was pretty good.
Yeah, that was an awesome way to advertise your product. Yes, sir.
Okay, have you ever heard of Dreamweb?
Dreamweb. I might have seen it on Good Old Games.
I think it's on Good Old Games. I haven't checked recently, but it is. It's an adventure game, and it's actually a top-down. It's in a dystopian future or whatever. But it's really interesting because you can actually pick up almost every item. So there's a ton of interactable items.
Oh wow!
But
that's one way to immerse the player.
Well, and it's, you know, it's supposed to be like this adventure puzzle game, and it's like at the beginning, it's like it's okay. It's like, and a couple of puzzles are like, oh, okay, this is really cool. Like there's I think 1 or 2 puzzles where it's like, oh, you can. Like you have like similar implements, so it's like a knife and a butter knife will essentially do the same thing, so you can solve the puzzle with that. I was like, oh, hey, that makes sense.
All right.
But it's funny because later in the game, you get a gun, and I get to the point where like half the puzzles are just solved by, hey, just shoot this dude in the face. And it was just kind of funny because it's like watching it played. It's just kind of like, you know, in adventure games, I've always wanted that. It's like, yeah, just shoot the dude in the face. But then after it happens, it's like, oh. That wasn't nearly as satisfying as I had hoped it would be.
Oh boy.
I just thought that was kind of funny.
Oh yeah.
Did you have a question? Yeah, have you heard of a game called Tattoo Fighter?
Oh, I've heard of
Tattoo Assassins?
Yeah.
That's another Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Oh god, that game is terrible.
Oh my goodness. I believe Red Super also did a commentary on that game.
Yes, they probably did.
Okay, we do have to wrap this up. What the gameplay you're seeing right now is Robinson's Requiem, also available on GoodOldGames.com. What you're seeing right here is just the many ways. This game is that you're just on a planet, sort of seeing what it has on it, and you're supposed to fight for survival. There is a plot in the game, but you know. And what this guy is doing right here is that he's using his first aid kit to kill himself. So as a medical professional in training, you get to see all sorts of stuff. Like he's got tourniquets on each of his limbs.
Just pass out.
No, you can go to sleep, and there's this shit right here. Anyway, skipping ahead a bit. So you now have gangrene on all 4 of your limbs. Yeah, Snake Eater's got nothing on this. I'm still tired. Good night. Well, time to sleep off the gangrene. Oh, I killed him. Now, before we get out of here, I'm going to show. Before we split, just one last scene you got to look at for this game. Now, this is actually very possible to do. And let's go ahead and this way. Oh yeah, that's your heart rate going. Well, all 4 limbs are about to get gangrene. Time to amputate. Oh!
I'm gonna cut off your last arm.
Alright, that's all the time we have today, folks.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you guys for coming, really.
We couldn't cover a lot of obscure games, so we covered what we could.
Hey, who's up for next year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, we'll be sure to get more time and be sure to have more to show off.
All right.
I'll try to see if I can
Forward
find
to
more
it.
Japanese news games to look over. I wanted to go over some.
All right.
Question. Just, has anyone here beat down Phantom Vengeance published by Capcom for the PS2 and I believe Xbox?
You really got to split it again. Some other guy might have to say.
Okay, I guess not.
Oh well. For next year, perhaps.